Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making my new summer study plan. I'm currently learning 2 languages, but I'm also going to be starting a new language. This is going to be my study plan for the next few months, and I'm also just getting back into my routine. I just came back home from a few months of traveling, so this is going to be a very chill study plan, nothing crazy. I don't want to set those like crazy and unrealistic goals that I'm never going to be able to achieve. I'm not planning on doing an hour and a half of each language every single day because that's just not realistic for me. This is going to be a lot more chill. If you want to see my new study plan, keep on watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And now let's get started. All right, so this is my Notion template that I'm gonna use to make my study plan. I didn't make this. I used a pre-made one that I found on Notion Marketplace. So this is the template that I use. This is the original one, and this is the one that I'm going to be using. So obviously I modified it a little bit. I'm going to link this template in the description box. It was free. If you guys are interested, you can also use it. But it's a very, very simple one. We just have my weekly schedule, goals, then what languages I'm going to be learning, and then there's this vocab and grammar section. I don't know if I'm going to use it because I don't really tend to track my vocab or anything, but maybe I decided to leave it just in case. And then this is the monthly overview. So basically here we have just like the week, right? And here is the monthly overview. We are going to start by adding my languages. So can I, wait, guys, one thing about me, I don't know how to use Notion. That's why I use the pre-made template, because yeah, I know that, I don't know. I see people making these like beautiful, elaborate spreads on Notion, and I would love to be one of those people, but I'm just not. Maybe I'll learn in the future. Anyway, the first language that I'm gonna be learning is Spanish. Now, my level in Spanish, this is kind of weird because when it comes to like listening and reading, my level is quite advanced. I recently did like a placement test, let's say, and it said that my listening and reading comprehension are closer to C1. But I think when it comes to speaking, and speaking is something that I really want to focus on this summer, I'm closer to B1. I don't know, I still get so shy and nervous when I have to speak Spanish and I forget everything. So I'm gonna say B1. Either way, this is not binding, this is just my study plan. No one cares. I'm gonna use the Mexican flag, I think, for Spanish. Yeah, I'm not learning Spanish from Spain. That's my first language, Spanish. Then I'm gonna be learning Kyrgyz. I started learning Kyrgyz a few months ago in December 2025. And I'd say my level is still A1 beginner. I'm still a beginner. I had a few one-on-one lessons on italki. I want to say like 15 maybe, but I haven't studied in ages and I feel like I forgot everything. So I'm gonna say A1. Okay, so that's that. And then my third language that I'm gonna be studying is Brazilian Portuguese. And the reason is Portuguese, okay? And the reason is because I may or may not be going to Brazil in a few months, and I really, really want to learn a little bit. So yeah, level same, A1 beginner, because I'm literally starting from scratch. I mean, from scratch, kind of from scratch, because I speak French and I also know some Spanish, so I'm not going to be starting from complete zero. I watched a video in Portuguese a few days ago, and I was so surprised at how much I could understand. It was crazy. Definitely starting with a big advantage here. I'm so excited. I've always wanted to learn Portuguese, so yeah, this is very exciting for me. I love the way this looks. One thing I love about Notion is how aesthetic everything is. I love it. The next section that we are going to fill out, I think, is going to be goals. All right, my first goal is going to be for Spanish. I basically just want to become more confident when it comes to speaking Spanish, but obviously how do you measure confidence? You can't really do that. So I think I'm gonna have a 30-minute conversation, because I feel like at my level, 30 minutes is not that much. I feel like if I can do that, if I can speak Spanish for 30 minutes, that's how I will know that I have gotten over my fear of speaking Spanish. Have a 30-minute conversation. That's my first goal. And then another goal that I have for Spanish is I want to film a video in Spanish, entirely in Spanish. It can either be me like talking about how I learned Spanish, maybe what I would do differently if I had to learn it again. It can be a vlog. I'm gonna put like minimum 10 minutes. All right, if I can do that, then I will be very, very happy. So I think those are my only 2 goals for Spanish. I don't want to set multiple goals. This is just what works better for me. My next goal is for Kyrgyz. And I think for Kyrgyz, I'm just gonna have a 5-minute conversation. I feel like at my level, that's very achievable. It can be online, it can be in person. And for Brazilian Portuguese, because I have this huge advantage with Brazilian Portuguese, I speak French and I know some Spanish. I feel like I can have a 15-minute conversation. Even though I've never learned it before, I'm not starting from complete zero. That's why I feel like 15 minutes is okay. Also, I forgot to mention it before, but my goal with like in general for all these languages is to focus mainly on speaking. 2 more goals. For Brazilian Portuguese, I want to speak Portuguese on camera. Maybe not a full video in Portuguese, but you know, at least like a few minutes, I feel like is a good goal. And then same for Kyrgyz, speak Kyrgyz on camera. I feel like it's also gonna make my videos more interesting, so I feel like it's a nice goal to have. Yeah, so I have 6 goals, 2 for each language. I'm happy with that. Now let's move on to the actual study plan. Spanish is going to be my main focus. I'm going to study Spanish every single day, or maybe except Sundays. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do 6 days a week. And then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna alternate Brazilian Portuguese and Kyrgyz. I still don't know how I'm gonna do this. I think I'm just gonna put Spanish. So I'm gonna do 20 minutes of Spanish. I'm just getting back into a routine and I don't want to set goals I'm never going to achieve. So 20 minutes of Spanish on Monday, and then we're gonna do Brazilian Portuguese, and then I'm also gonna do 20 minutes. Then for Tuesday, we're gonna do Spanish again. And then, yeah, 20 minutes. And we will do Kyrgyz. Yeah, okay. All right, so this is what my study plan is looking like. I'm kind of debating adding like a resource that I'm going to be using or something like that. The thing is that for Spanish, I don't really have any resources. I'm just gonna, as I said, pick a prompt and yeah, do some speaking exercises every single day. For Brazilian Portuguese, I haven't picked anything yet. But what I think I'm gonna do is basically try to see how much I can learn just by watching like movies, TV shows, or like listening to something in Brazilian Portuguese, basically how much I can learn from input only. I think it would make for a very, very interesting video. So definitely let me know in the comments if you would like to see that. For Kyrgyz, I only have 1 resource. I have my notes from my one-on-one lessons. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna review those because I feel like I forgot absolutely everything. So I think for now, I'm just gonna leave this. Also, eventually after like 2 to 3 weeks, I think I'm gonna replace one of the Kyrgyz study sessions with my one-on-one lessons. It will be either like Thursday or Saturday. I'll see if I will be able to like complete all of these. And if it's too easy, if it's too little, then I might increase the study time. But also what I wanted to mention is, even though I put 20 minutes, this is just my minimum, right? So if I want to do more, if I'm in the mood to like study Spanish one day, or if I'm in the mood to watch something in Portuguese, then I'm absolutely allowed to do that. There is no maximum. This is just a minimum that I want to do every single day. The most important thing for me right now is staying consistent, and 20 minutes per day or 40 because yeah, 2 languages, I feel like is doable, and that will allow me to stay consistent. Short sessions every single day, I feel like they give you so much more than a really, really long session once a week. All right, hi guys, it is now the next day, as you can probably tell. And last night I made a few changes to my study plan, so I thought I'd show you. They're kind of small, but still, I thought I'd show you. So the first thing that is new is I added which skill I'm going to be working on during each session. So for Spanish, it's always speaking because, as you guys know, speaking is my weakest point. Then when it comes to Kyrgyz, it's mostly vocab and speaking, because I want to review all the vocab that I learned during my one-on-one lessons, and then also create like little dialogues and stuff like that, practice speaking. And then for Portuguese, it's mostly listening, because I'm just starting out and I want to get as much input as possible. So that's the first thing that's new. And then the second thing that's new is for each Spanish study session that I have here, I added a prompt so that when I sit down to do my speaking exercises, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be talking about, random prompts that I found interesting. For example, what are you looking forward to this year? Is there a country you think is overrated? Why? We also have, is social media making life better or worse? Then for Brazilian Portuguese, I added links to YouTube videos that I found that I want to watch. Again, it's just going to make my life easier. I won't have to think about what I want to do during each session. So that's the main thing that's new. And then did I add anything else? No, I don't think so. I think, yeah, that's it. That's my new study plan for the summer. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what languages you will be learning this summer. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.